This is the last segment of the areas in regards to Tila Jam's themes. So we've had the self-love theme, which is the red jam. We've had the orange jam, which is the personality. And now we're going on to the green jam, which is all about confidence. And I do want to say that in my experience, confidence has never been something I've driven. And when I say that, I mean I am not always trusting of situations, and it could be any situation. It's not just in relation to celebrating HIV, but I think to put it out there as a disclaimer, people are not going to advise you to, learn everything and know everything, so that you can do the best you can do. I think trust in relation to Tila Jam is very much again it's inside of you. It's the trust that you have for and with yourself. Sometimes we get into situations either with people or in relation to our own journeys, that we find ourselves thinking that we know but we don't know, and sometimes in that sense it can be a reversal, kind of downplay on our life. So with this, it is a very it is going to be quite controversial, but I think it's important to for me to put it into perspective, for others to kind of try to understand, because sometimes I might come across very trusting, very I guess I've gone through things, so I know things, but I'm putting it out there as a disclaimer. I think a lot of people go through things in relation to illnesses and relationships. When it comes to having HIV and being positive, not that people will know straight away, oh, she was born with it. But the point that I'm getting to is I don't have to trust myself when it comes to certain things, because I don't know everything, and so sometimes I'll blurt out this or this or this and this, and someone go, oh my gosh, is that really happening, or that's not true, kind of thing. So to be honest, the disclaimer is very light-hearted. Just don't take everything personally that I'm gonna say. I'm very much a free person, and again, none of these leaflets are official in the light of a generic sense, but I am celebrating World AIDS Day on a personal level for myself, for my children, because they're not negative, but we wear the ribbons, we share the ribbons, knowingly, but also unknowingly. I don't know how people are going to take this video, but whoever's watching it today, thank you for listening, thank you for bearing with me. There's still a lot of things that I'm going to talk about, but yeah, just don't take things personally, in regards to what or if I say something that you don't like. Okay, so we're going to talk about the confidence theme, and so the cover is, again, it's just in paper form, but I've popping the question, and the question is, are you HIV positive? And with this, it's a very open-led question, so obviously the question is yes or no, or I've never been tested. These are the answers that are going to be proposed. But what I'm really getting at today in regards to this theme is, what does someone know? Because in the sense that we love ourselves, we love our body, and we don't want to share it, but we know who we are, and so we understand, where we are in relation to how aware we are. Sometimes it is about, and like I said, don't get at me, but sometimes it is about how certain are we about how positive or negative we are. Um, so again here, I'm very reflective. So Tila Jam is as much as it's an accountability journey, it's a very reflective one on how I've got to where I've got to and where I am now. Sometimes we go, a bit back and forth, and HIV is with me, and like I said, it's dormant, because of you equals you. It's dormant because of treatment. It's dormant because of consultations. It's dormant, and I could go on, about how it's being managed, but for most of us that are on this journey, it goes up and down. We don't know. I guess I don't want to say that people are on the same journey as me, but we don't know how to stay on one level. It is up, down, middle, whatever. So this theme, it is very much about, okay, I know that I'm going down, or I know that I'm a bit up, or I know that I'm stable, or kind of thing. It's about, again, funneling into our awareness state. So of course, when we ask that question, when we pop the question to somebody, sometimes we might not pop it in the way that is so direct, so open. So like I said, if you are getting into a relationship, sometimes it isn't about are you positive, or it's about the ways in which we share our body. Are we getting close, in a really negative way? Are we getting positive about how not close we are? Because sometimes we can be aware of someone else's status by how close we don't get to them, so reflection is key. And I would say for myself, I don't reflect on negative takes in my life, let's say, but I am very reflective of the ways in which I've left something. So for example, I've worked and I've worked and I've worked and I've worked, and I've always told friends, if I don't have children, because I had my son when I was 27, if I don't have children by 30, there's no good man out there for me. And that's me trusting myself. But now that I look back, and this is the honest opinion, now that I look back, I wish I asked myself more about relationships that would funnel into, I guess, me trusting partners more, with that side of myself. Because I think there are times, I guess, in any person's life that you want to settle down or you want to make things work with someone and it doesn't, because of, I guess, the respect that wasn't had or an issue of trust. But when you're asking, I guess, that big question, sometimes it's not about how direct we are, it's about how indirect we are. So if we're trying to describe our status to someone, it's not necessarily HIV positive, or are you sick, or let's go to the doctors. It is, how close are you to this person? And I've had many discussions with people around convenience, of hoish type behaviors. And I'm not, again, I really don't want to put anybody off this part of the video, but sometimes it does get temperamental, and I'm not laughing because it's I'm being rude. I'm laughing because this is the side that people don't want to discuss. It's just difficult to say to someone, do you know what, you look like you've had a lot of shaking the bed kind of thing, or something's wrong with that person, I'm not going with them. Sometimes we have to look inside ourselves. And again, this side of the theme is, how confident are we to trust in somebody else? So when we are reflecting on our journeys, or when we are reflecting on anything, it is a scenario base that we play. So I've put here straight away, my status is this, and I could be in a bubble, I know we've had COVID, but I mean in a sense of, you know, when you think, oh my God, I'm gonna go out today, or that's my bubble. My bubble is I know what I'm doing, and I know my status. I know me, and then it's because we know ourselves and we trust ourselves in that sense of things. It's going forward and saying, okay, so what's yours? What are you about? And if that isn't coming across in a variant way to how you're displaying yourself, then it's very much letting the other person lead and letting them show you in a trusting way where they are in terms of their HIV and their status. I'm going to go through a few words that describe a positive status, because that's what I'd be leading with. So, someone that is positive, knows they're positive, someone understands the science, might be a bit of baggage, might be fear, they might be mindful, there might be some shame, they might have some triggers, some reliance, and these all come from the developing side of knowing their status. So the trust in, okay, I know I've got HIV because, you know, I understand the science, I get my consultations, you know, I know the shame that comes with it because I can't be out there, you know, doing whatever, whatever is whatever. I've got to be mindful of how I speak about my HIV as opposed to how someone starting their journey or someone that's gotten very ill because of their journey. I'm going to go on to the negative side because I think it's important to bring in both sides to kind of balance it out. So a few words about knowing the HIV status in relation to negative is there may be acceptance, there may be risk, there may be responsibility, protection, there may be STIs, there may be warmth, and there may be flow. So some of the things are, I guess, in the way that I want to describe it is just normal. You know, there's a bit of risk when it comes to telling someone, yeah, I'm negative, there's nothing wrong, or there's a bit of risk when it comes to, you know, having that conflict of, you know, I'm a free person, but the flow and the responsibility of knowing that you're HIV positive is getting the understanding first that, do you know what, I've been tested, or I'm with my partner, you know, I know how I am as a person, and so, for example, when you're going through that scenario of, you know, I am whatever, it is very much, you know, complementing all of what I've said again, with how we look at ourselves, where we understand the awareness of HIV, and just that knowing state of, do you know what, I know I'm this, and, you know, having that answer. When it comes to, I think even with any kind of STI as well, there are symptoms. So with HIV, I'm not opposing people reflect on, you know, transmission, or because I'm not doing any myth busting, I'm not doing any stories in relation to disclosure, but with anything we know that there's always something that gives off you know, a kind of I trust that something's wrong, or I trust that I'm okay. So when we are kind of in our trusting, in our confident state, it's very much key to really look at yourself. And I have got a few goodies in there. One of my goodies today is a compact mirror. And so I don't know, for anybody that doesn't know what a compact mirror is it's just a little mirror that, you know, you could it's a handheld thing, so it's not like your phone or anything, but it's a handheld thing. You could put it up and it's just a recognition of the profile of your face. And so that's what I'm putting out to you today, is to kind of consider that when you are compact in a relationship, the relationship builds from when you open up that state of yourself that is, it's not an illusion, not that you need the mirror, but when we are looking at ourselves from a reflective side of things, it is very much looking on the external side. So I trust that, you know, this is what I'm going to say, or I trust that this is how I am, or sometimes it is easier said than done, but the time to fill that gap, to really have that confidence to say the question and or pop the question or have the answers is to really look intrinsically at yourself. And sometimes you will see something that you don't want to see. I know I've done many videos and I've gone, oh my gosh, I don't like that video, or whatever it is that I'm not confident about. But it's always important to tell somebody that is yourself that you don't have to drive home that you don't trust yourself. This theme is very much centered on, I guess, the positive side of trust, which is we don't always have to confide in someone else to really lean into the fact that we know ourselves more or better. It is very much saying to yourself as yourself, because eventually, you know, trust is about developing, you know, relationships with others in a healthy way. It is about lessening the illusion of, okay, I know, you know, how I'm looking, or I know myself, and it's really revisiting in a reflective way that, you know, I've been down that road, or I've been down that side of things, and now I'm, you know, looking to do more of this, which is tell my truth, or, you know, in light of some of the words that I shared, you know, have fun, be mindful. So looking at things in a way that says, you know, I trust what's happening on the inside, but I trust much more the outside things. So when we look at this area again, please do let me know if you are happy to be sent a compact mirror. You will also be sent a lovely ribbon. And again, this is not something that I'm doing on a professional level, because I know there's many organisations out there that are selling ribbons. But I just thought the goodie bag is there for you to discuss more with yourself and around other people, ways in which you can trust yourself more, ways in which you can support yourself more, to help you to build those kind of relations that you can have. So let's take another break, and we will move forward into questions, move forward into answers as I've just talked about, and we'll move forward to redelivering a year of possibilities, because I will be signing off for Christmas. I will be plugging in something about parenting course that is coming up in the new year. But again, if you want to revisit anything that I've talked about, please get in touch and I can send you a bunch of information with the compact mirror, with the ribbon. And it's all on the basis that if you wear it, it's just about showing your support, showing, I guess that you care about how you revisit, because HIV is not something, again, like I said, in line with loving ourselves, HIV is not something that we showcase or we have this bravado. It's something that's inside of us, and that we can walk, proudly with it. But this part of the conversation is knowing that there is a time and place for discussing things openly, and discussing things in a way that says, you know what, I trust myself, and this is me. But with that said, I'm going to give you guys a bit of a break, have some snacks or have whatever it is, discuss. Again, there's going to be music played, and yeah, it's just the time to send me any questions or anything that you feel you want to learn more about in regards to HIV and AIDS.